Right, so basically, this is what happens when it's a curious position. It's like all these girls, they live together. The grandmother, the mother, and the daughter. Their house is a mess. Their life is a mess, and they're going nowhere. And I have to help them because they're my family. But there's there's, there's no male provider. There's no there's no expected standard of discipline. People just do whatever they want according to the good person principle or whatever. I wouldn't even say they do that much. So it's like my job to try to help them, but what has to happen is that they have to recognize an authority, and that's not something they're doing with me clearly, which is fine. So I was arguing with my sister yesterday. She was literally just repeating talking points from Jonathan McIntosh's Pop Culture Detective. She was talking about abduction as romance, and she said Shrek was an example. And she said that Shrek did not do her a service by do Fiona a service by rescuing her from the tower. She said Fiona was happy in the tower. She said she lived a happy life in the tower and didn't need to be rescued. And that's her. That's her life. That's exactly that's the argument that validates her lifestyle. She doesn't do anything, and she's happy in the tower because I mean, I don't know if she knows this, but Fiona didn't have YouTube in the tower. Fiona didn't have anything. She was up there very bored and very lonely. That's true. But even if you're just in a tower all day, even if you're satisfied with that, even if you don't get bored, you still need to eat. Still, and you can't do anything in the tower. You can't be productive in it when you're trapped in a tower. You're not. You can't. But you have to consume. That's the thing. The thing about being alive is that part of being alive is you have to consume. And so somebody has to produce what you consume. And therefore you're a net negative on society if you don't produce. So obviously you're happy, quote unquote, happy in the tower. You just sit around and eat free food. That's have everything brought to you. Yeah, I'm happy in the tower. I'm happy in the tower. I don't need to be rescued. What are you talking? I'm happy. I'm happy being a homeless crack addict, okay? I'm happy. I get everything I need. I steal from dumpsters. She's happy in her tower. And it's very important to me that I find a way to convince her that. Because like the way that the story is supposed to work, it's just it's a human story. It happens over and over. It's a, you could call it like an archetype, right? There's just like a story that is supposed to be carried that humans play out. It's like integral to our survival, and so we play it out. It's satisfying on a lifelong scale. And part of the story, and the story is contingent on. So yeah, like the woman being rescued and falling in love with or abducted and aka rescued. It's like saying Sarah Connor was happy in her life. Like there are things that are bigger than you. You can be happy being alone, but like if you can be happier if you're rescued. And that story is contingent on one, the woman. I mean, okay, so my sister is. This is where the problem of being an actor versus being an observer comes in, okay? Because as an observer, Dora is not correct in that she is happier in her tower than she would be, in the as a participant in the world. As an observer, she's not correct, but as an actor, as a woman, as a young girl, this is the correct attitude for her to have because she's not supposed to understand the full story uh, if she's taking part in it. This is one of the self-awareness problems of TV and media. So yeah, there's two things. One, she has to be unaware, and two, she also has to be helpless to the situation. Like the thing about women, they don't make things. Women don't make things happen. Okay, women like they're not doers. It's their role is to criticize and judge. Okay, and they make decisions along the way. It's like a choose your own adventure novel where you make three. You read the choose your own adventure novel, and at the end of the page it says if you make choice A, do this. If you make choice B, do that. That's a woman simulator. They choose from an option, a list of options that men have created. Men create. They pull from the internet. There's an infinite number of possible things that can exist, and men make them exist. And it's women's job to choose. Other than that, there are times when they're simply helpless, and that's the way it's supposed to be. A man has to have that power because the power is necessary for creation. You have to have the power. You have to have more agency is exercised in the act of creation than in the act of choice. Choice, by the way, is another word for destruction because you're destroying all the other possible futures. Like there's 300 million people in the country. They don't all play equal. They don't have equal. They don't affect the flow of history to equal degrees. And you can even say that their existence, some people exist more than others. Like, to a certain extent, I unironically believe that the place I live, I am playing out a role of punishment. I am a placeholder. The life I live is a placeholder that another person will co-opt, that another person who is more alive than me and matters more than me, if they mess up, they will come take my place, or they will come live with me where I am. I I keep the fire of punishment lit. I exist in a state of punishment. I carry the torch, and I will pass it to the person who deserves it the most, if that makes sense. It's kind of a silly thing to say, but it's fun to think about. I think that people in this house are too old and their neuroplasticity is too low for them to change, for them to change their habits and opinions on not only the people around them, but the concepts of the people around them, the possible roles that they can play and that they will allow others to play. They're just too old. That's why they're just too old to entertain the idea that a sort of disciplinary epicenter is something that they can rely on, something that they want, because they don't know what to do sometimes, and they it doesn't occur to them that they can ask anyone for help. It doesn't occur to them until it's a crisis. They say, "Please help me." They say, "Please help me." They say, "It's a crisis. I'm in a crisis right now." They say, "I need help." But up until that point, they're too proud. They don't entertain the idea that someone else can help them because they're strong and independent, of course. It's very LARPy. It's very, they're living, it's LARPy. By that I mean inauthentic. This is a life that was promised to them by someone else, and they're trying their best to make it a reality, but it isn't coming from someplace that it's external. It's not coming from within. They heard of it somewhere, and so they said, "Oh, that must be real, and it's better than anything I've ever heard." What? Getting things for free? What? I don't have to. I don't have to lose my pride or anything. What? People just give me things because of basic human decency? Camera angle makes me look bald. Am I bald? Kind of. It looks ridiculous. I'm bald, aren't I? I'm not satisfied with that explanation of being in the role of punishment. What is it that I want to say about that? There is a spirit of punishment. There is a vibe of punishment that it is my job to preserve. It is a you could say that there are people out there who believe in a realm of punishment. They say that's not where I am, and through their willpower, they manage to expel the spirit of punishment from them. The thing is that the spirit of punishment is collected where I am. And so even though I personally have no reason to be punished. And that's not to say I'm not a that isn't that's not to say I'm not a bad person, but that is to say I haven't lived a varied enough life. I just I guess what I mean to say that is that on average my life feels subpar, even though, like I said, I mean I am like these women. I've received everything for free, so I don't have a reason. I mean, maybe that is the reason, but I don't know. It kind of just yikes. It probably leaves soon. I don't know if I can convince my sister. I don't know if it would be proper to convince her. If anything, it would be proper to keep all women away from TV and movies. But that's, good luck. Um, yeah, I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't need anything except my grandfather's legacy, which has sustained me my entire life. I'm an independent woman. I don't need anything except a lifetime of work by my brilliant grandfather who wanted nothing more than to provide for his family. I'm going to forget about him because I'm an independent woman. I'm so mad. It's fine. It's fine for you to. It's fine. Just credit him. Take his money. Just credit him. Just acknowledge that you're taking it. You don't get to be a good person at the same time, okay? I don't think she'll ever learn. I think she will always be alone.